Herkese iyi akşamlar. Dersimize hoş geldiniz. Birazdan başlıyoruz. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our lesson. We are starting in a bit. So, today we will talk about conditional sentences in Turkish. Just if sentences in Turkish. We will learn how to say if I go, or if I did, or if I whatever, like if I have this, any sentence you have with if in it, we will learn how to say that in Turkish. First, I will explain the grammar. There are a few things you need to know about this, and then we will put it in different sentences, and I will show example sentences. Then I will give you useful tricks on using it, and then if we have enough time left, we will do some practice. And for this lesson, I will not go over the basics like vowel harmony or other things. I will skip them for now. If you get confused on the endings, especially, feel free to ask. So we are starting now. Şimdi başlıyoruz. So if in Turkish is just this pattern. Eğer you say something else like other words, and sometimes sa or se, like eğer, sa, se. And the way you can use this, you insert this sa, se to verbs. Don't forget this. Eğer, sa, se. Sometimes you can also use it to nouns, but in that case, they actually behave like the to be verb. It is technically still a verb, so you can still add it to nouns. So let's use this gelmek, which means to come. And you will of course need a person, and ben, like I. And now you will need a tense. Sometimes you don't need the tense, but most of the time you need a tense. So let's use the aorist and r suffix, like if I come. Eğer ben gelirsem. If I come. If I come. Eğer sen gelirsen. If you come. And then eğer o gelirse. If he comes. So what do we have here? Let me mark them for you. Gel is a root. It means to come. And then gelir. This is the tense. It is called aorist. If I come. And after the aorist, we had always this se. It is the if part in the Turkish conjugation. If. And the final endings after se is for the person. Gelirsem, if I come. Eğer sen gelirsen, if you come. Eğer o gelirse, if he comes. Let's try something else. Let's use this. Gitmek. Eğer ben gidersem. I will not use gitmek. It's kinda irregular. I will use oynamak, which means to play. Eğer ben oynarsam. Eğer sen oynarsan. Ve eğer o oynarsa. As you can see, this is actually about the aorist, but if there's a vowel at the end, you don't need a separate vowel, it's simply just an R. Oynarsam. oynarsan, oynarsa. You can also think about this with the aorist, like you can first say ben oynarım. This means I play. Now you can also insert the sase into this. Eğer ben oynarsam. Maybe that could be the alternative way to remember it. Like you simply separate it here. You take the root and then the aorist. You just remove the final ending for person and insert the sum in it. This could be also an alternative to remember. And yes, I don't conjugate it for other pronouns, but for biz, it's oynarsak. Yes. Maybe I can put it for other pronouns. So I will do it here. Eğer biz oynarsak, if we play. Eğer siz oynarsanız, if you play. Eğer onlar oynar, sometimes sa or sometimes oynarsalar, if they play. It is the same ending with the aorist. If, then the root, then the aorist, then the personal ending. Eğer ben oynarsam. Eğer sen oynarsan. Eğer sen yaparsan. Let's use yapmak. Yapmak. This means to do, sometimes to make, but eğer ben yaparsam, eğer sen yaparsan ve eğer o yaparsa. This is how it is built, but we use the aorist for this, but aorist is not the only one you can use it. You can also use the other tenses. In the next slide, we will learn this. So let's also quickly remember. In Turkish we have 5 basic tenses. This is past tense with the. This is like the definite past tense, like the things you see yourself. And then past tense with mış. This is for things you heard from someone else, like that happened in the past. And continuous tense, eor, and aorist, we were using this, and future. So you can insert the sase into all of these tenses. So since the past tense is a bit more tricky, I will use it at the end, because there are actually 2 ways to do this. First, we will start with mış, continuous, aorist, future, and at the end we will talk about the do with past, like past tense in if, in details. If in the past tense with the past tense. This is the nightmare. It's very difficult because there are actually 2 different ways to say it. The conjugations were always simple. Root and then tense and then sa and then pronoun. But this time there are different ways. In one way you put sa before the tense. In the other way you put the tense before the sa. Like this. Yap saydım and yaptım. I don't know where to place the buffer. Onlar ayrı da işte ayırmak çok istemiyorum her şeyi. Şöyle yapalım bari. Çünkü tam olarak kaynaştırma değil. Neyse böyle kalsın. So the Y's are, you can call them buffers. They make the pronunciation easier. What I am trying to show here is the position of sa. In the first way, it comes before the d, before the tense. In the second, it comes after the t. And the turns into t because of this p here. It's called consonant hardening. After certain letters, d turns into t. So the position of sa change the whole meaning. Yapsaydım, yeah, it's maybe more common because yaptıysam, maybe you don't have the context for tıysam in everyday life, but I can imagine also other situations where you need to say yaptıysam. But again, this actually goes back to what we were saying about mış. Yaptıysam, for I, we don't use it because we know whether or not we did something. Like if you are saying it for I, it's not common because we know if we did or not. But you can say it for someone else. O yaptıysa, if he did, because you can't know if he or she did it. Neyse, anyway. So what is the difference between yapsaydım and yaptıysam? So I will call them. Megan, I will need your help here with the English sentences. Yapsaydım is a hypothetical situation in the past. It's like, if I had done this, something would have happened. But I didn't do it, so it didn't happen. I am only thinking back and talking about a possible scenario. Like, I will even draw a timeline here, like this. And now I will impress all of you with my drawing skills. So this is our timeline. This is past, and this is future. So you are here in the present. Okay, and something happens here. Maybe like you go to school, you wake up, like just event, a point in time. And then you think back. Yapsaydım olurdu. You are talking about a different timeline. Like this. Yapsaydım olurdu. Like the timeline will go in a different direction. If I did it, if I had done it, we will have a different outcome. Okay, you get it? You are talking about like what will happen if you did something. So, yes, like the third condition in English, like the would have, if I had done this, something else would have happened. Like, maybe this point is you discovering Discord, like finding out the application, and you are here in the lesson. And you go back and you say like, if I hadn't discovered Discord, like if I hadn't found Discord, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have been here. So Discord'u bulmasaydım, Discord'u keşfetmeseydim, şu an burada olmazdım. And Danica, that's a good point. We can't go back in time, yes. We can't get to do that alternate present. So the possibility is over. Like you can't do it. But in the other one, there is still a possibility. It's like yes or no. I will also draw a different timeline for it. So if he will kept his promise, we will still be married. Yes, Megan, correct. Let's use this. Eğer o sözünü tutsaydı, şimdi evli olurduk. If he would have kept his promises, right now we would have been married, but we divorced. We are not married right now because he didn't. He didn't keep his promises. And another example, eğer oraya gitseydim onu görürdüm. If I went there, I will have seen him, but I didn't go there and I didn't see him. Yes, Sarah, you are right. You are correct. And right now the things are still unclear, but I'm sure you kinda understand. So let's make this better. Let me draw a different timeline for the other the. So we have this timeline again. This is the past and future. And you know, actually, yeah, it's the future, but you are here. You are here. And depending on the if, you will have different timelines. This is the other one. So, for example, actually Sarah's answer, or I always use this, ödev, doing homework. Ödevini yaptıysan, if you did homework, you can go out. If you didn't do your homework, you can't go out. There are two possibilities. It depends on whether or not you did it. I can even insert some text here so you can remember it. You can go out. And the other one, you can't go out. So in this point of time, there's yes or no. If you did your homework, I will make a green. Yes, you can go out. But if you didn't do your homework, no, you can't go out. And let me read the chat. If you did your homework, then you can go. Sarah, you can't use yapsaydın. If you did your homework, you can say it. If you use yapsaydın, it will sound like if you had done your homework, you would have went. Or you will have gone, sorry. Ödevini yapsaydın. Yeah, that is weird. We don't say this. Nanagio, This example is t. Yaptıysan. I can also insert this here. Like ödevini yaptıysan. Oh. Ödevini yaptıysan you can go out. Yapmadıysan you can't go out. The verb in the second clause has a required ending. Yaptıysan gidebilirsin, yapmadıysan gidemezsin. I think so, if I understand your question correctly. So this second one, yaptıysan, has still an open possibility. Like if you did it, yes. If you didn't, no. Yes, Megan, if you have finished your homework, if you have done your homework, we can go. If you haven't done your homework, we can't go. So it depends on whether or not you did it. In the first one, by first one I mean yapsaydın, the other sa. If you had done, we could or we would go. So evet, işten çıktıysan yemek yemeye gidebiliriz. So right now I will type the examples like this. İşten çıktıysan yemek yemeye gidebiliriz. Okuldan geldiysen oyun oynayabiliriz. Bernizium, I think you asked this question. In this part, the second clause is always like we can do something, we can do this. But in the other one, there's an advanced, like a combined past, like İşten çıksaydın yemek yemeye gidebilirdik. Okuldan gelseydin oyun oynayabilirdik. If you joined my lessons a few weeks ago, we talked about this ardı past tense. The ardı was about things that would happen. So it is used with the if sentences. Okay, and if you have brushed your teeth, you can go to bed. Yes. Dişlerini fırçaladıysan yatabilirsin. Yes, Nanagyo. Yeah, I am happy that you seem to understand the difference. And by ardı, do you mean this, Megan? Aux, yes, it's like showing regret or talking about a missed chance. That's what I call it. So like you missed the chance. You can't go to that alternate timeline. So you are talking about what you missed. So yeah, that is correct. So yeah, I am also glad, Ox, that you understand this now. Because when we explain this in text, things can get confusing. I wanted to do a separate lesson. I am glad you joined. I'm glad all of you joined. I had a different lesson on this before, like a couple months ago, but maybe you were not there or maybe you forgot, so I wanted to do something else. Bana söyleseydin seni anlayabilirdim. Evet Melih. Hı hı. Okay, now that all of you seem to understand how it works, let's talk about the delights of Turkish and let's talk about tricks and important details. Thank you for your contribution. Thank you for your participation. All of you, thank you for coming. Thank you for spending your time with us. Don't forget to do the homework tomorrow. There will be more practice. And see you next time. Kendinize iyi bakın. Herkese iyi geceler. Sonra görüşürüz.